What's up, guys?
Long
Did
time
you
no see.
I know, did you miss us?
I know
Uh,
I missed it.
yeah, you weren't on, the last couple, right, that I did?
Mm-mm. No. Man, it's been crazy with the kids going back to school and stuff. I've been really busy.
Yeah. Spray tan in the world, right?
Turboing the world and spray tanning the world. Those are my contributions to society.
That's awesome.
Oh.
Thank you everyone for, joining us this evening. We got a great show for you guys this evening. We have a very special guest, Brian Bossone of PowerTube TV. So we'll be bringing him on in a few minutes. But first things first, did you hear what Wes Buck is doing with Drag Illustrated and Bradenton Motorsports Park?
I just heard a little bit about it. I know he put everyone on notice to start building some pro mods. It seemed
I
like he
mean,
was being very direct, like build a pro mod.
yeah. So I mean, I would if I had the coin, I'd definitely build one. So if anybody wants to throw me, $250,000 to build a pro mod, I will definitely accept that sponsorship money and
And
go
if
racing.
anyone wants to put me in a pro mod, I will drive it. Yeah.
So, yeah, same thing. But basically, what?
Women have faster reaction time than men, it's proven. So like give me the
Well,
shot
well,
first.
isn't it true? Like you guys have like better hand eye coordination than
All of that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was like many years ago. I think I was like 20. I was in my early 20s, right? Might have been like 22 or something like that. And I took a girl out on a date. Firearm shooting. So we went to the gun range and first time she ever shot, and she had a really nice grouping. I couldn't believe it because like I'm like I was like, there's no way I was a great teacher. You know what I mean? I was fresh myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, great grouping. I was like, and then I like looked it up and it said like they
What, oh, hold on. Why did you look it up? Because you needed validation?
yeah.
What? Women are great at a lot of things.
Well, not that you guys are bad, it's just like I couldn't believe how well she did. You know what I
That's
mean?
an
Like
interesting
the
date
grouping was
idea.
tight.
So what
Yeah, yeah.
happened? What happened? Did you guys go on a second date?
I don't remember, to be
Mm,
honest. Um, but
I guess her marksmanship didn't do it for you.
it might have been the other way around. It might have been maybe she didn't want to go on a second date with me. I don't know. I don't remember. I think we might have went on a second one. I don't think there was a third one.
Mm,
Yeah,
mhm.
yeah. So,
All I know
um,
is I'm glad I'm out of that hellscape.
yeah, that I can only imagine how scary it is. To be doing that stuff like at, our age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So back to the West Buck thing. So, it's gonna be a big deal?
Yeah, so what he's doing is basically it's a 3 event series all at Bradenton Motorsports Park. So it's gonna be pro mod stuff, right? Uh Snowboard Nationals, US Street Nationals, and World Series of Pro Mod. And the
Mhm.
winner of the point series, the champion, will win 150 grand. Um
That's some nice money. That's
Yeah,
a nice
so
payout.
a lot of pro mod guys that are not obviously from the area are looking for places to store their cars for the winter and things like that.
Oh, yeah?
There's been talks that Victor is going to be building uh, like sheds for people to park their cars in and things like that
Oh,
over the
that's
winter.
smart. Really
Yes,
smart.
he's got the land for it. So
Mhm.
um,
Yeah. Did you see all that flooding? That was crazy.
yes,
Man, that was crazy. That's how it is in Florida, though, like, you never know, and you gotta
well,
be ready for the craziest stuff to happen.
you know why they got that flooding, right?
What, from the construction of those houses? That's what I figured. I didn't know that, but I assumed that because it was the first time it ever flooded like that.
Yep. So basically, they're I don't know what you call it because I'm not a construction person, but they're building these dunes right around
Mhm.
the track. So all the water came, you know, towards the middle of the track. You know,
That's
so
plum.
yeah. So they said they've never had that problem before.
Mm,
Yeah. So,
that was a lot of rain.
but yeah, so are you ready to bring on our
Yeah,
special guest?
let's do it. Let's see what he's got to say. He's got a lot going on.
All right. So guys, I would like to present to you our very special guest, Brian Bossone.
Hey.
What's going on, man? How
Hey,
are you?
Brian.
Great. Nice to be here, guys.
We're so
So,
glad you joined us.
where are you at right now? I see like cylinder heads maybe back
Oh,
there.
yeah. So I get bored every once in a while, so I just take crap apart. But I have to, and it doesn't have to be at my place either. So I was at we were at the Bronco event in Gatlinburg doing some promotional stuff, and my buddy Art lives right outside of Nashville. And in between this and the Jeep show we're going tomorrow, I just stayed with him, and he's got a garage. And I actually gave him that motor a few years back for a project. He never did anything with it. And I walked in, we were drinking some beers, and I said, "What do we do now?" I looked over there, I go, "That's sitting too long. We need to put some heads on things, cam." Next thing you know, there
Those are
it is.
those are the stock heads.
Those are it's an LS. You know what's funny? All the motors and everything I've done in my life, my LS career started when it was very beginning, but I sold my shop in 2010 and when it really started taking off. So I did a bunch of, back then LS, but ever since then I haven't done any. So it's like, what the hell? Let's give it a shot. Now I know why everybody works with them. That was easy. And
Yeah.
that's easy compared to a new Coyote or something like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We had that thing cooled down, and I was looking at us marking them and miking stuff up. I'm like, now I know why.
Mm-hmm.
So we started looking at marketplace for parts and stuff. I'm like, oh
yeah, easy and cheap because you can find tons of parts. Like
there was a bunch of marketplaces. All right, well, there's a BTR cam over there, and let's find some cylinder heads. So yeah, that's what happens when you leave me bored, which I shouldn't be bored if it was like 25 minutes. So that's after working all week, driving 16 hours and all stuff like that. And I'm like, that's my biggest problem in life is I just can't leave anything alone or can't sit still. Ask my wife.
So what are you doing like this week? And you were talking about a Jeep invasion and what's the Bronco thing? Like, give us the rundown of what you're involved in.
Yeah, Bronco Stampede is only 2 years old. It's the first year for it, second year for this event. And basically what they do is it's all Bronco. Any year, anything like that. It's a LeConte Center, and they have events all in and around in Gatlinburg, which, Gatlinburg's kind of a great area to be in. The big event is tomorrow, which is a 3-day. 50,000 people were there last year, over 8,000 Jeeps. It's insane. Let's put it that way. You can't drive at night. You have to, for the event we're doing, if we were to get a hotel anywhere within 2 miles, 2 hours. You just don't move. You could walk there faster. So you have to get a hotel like across street and walk because it's that crazy. But we have the PowerTube TV full display set up in the LeConte Center right in the concourse area. We're doing promotions. We're doing giveaways. We're doing koozies and stuff. Just really kind of giving some brand awareness for PowerTube TV, letting people know it's actually there. And they just simply click a button and you could be watching. And it was pretty good. And Bronco was a good start, but if it has anything to go, like the level of interest, we're going to be busy for the next 3 days. We get up tomorrow morning at 4 a.m., drive over there. It's 3 hours, and we will probably not stop until Saturday, 5, 6 o'clock, and then we get a wrap. But yeah, it's if anybody wants to really come to a great show, Gatlinburg has the street rod deal. It's a rod run, and I think they have one spring and fall. They have an F100 show. I think they have the Bronco and they have the Jeep and a few other ones. Amazing. And of course the family can come because there's so many things to do in Gatlinburg, So
is it more like a show or do they is it just like a cruise, a show? Like
they've got if you go to the Jeep Invasion Facebook page, they have an off-road trail set up one area. Every restaurant or hotel has a different event going on. In the LeConte Center, they have vendors inside, outside. They have different courses to run your Jeeps on and all kinds of
that sounds so fun.
Yeah, it's a Jeep club actually that started. So every night's at a different event at a different area or a different, bar or restaurant. There's concerts going on. It's just fun.
So are you into Jeeps and stuff like that? Are you, I mean, I know you're kind of a gearhead anyways, but like, is that, because to me, it seems like the Jeep thing is like, it's a mindset. Like you're a Jeep fan and like, you're all in for Jeep. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't care less about a Jeep, to be honest, like just myself, because I like going fast and I like horsepower, right? And I feel like, you know, they don't check the boxes for me, because I don't care about off-road and all that stuff. But are you into it?
Well, one of the key things why we're here is because PowerTube TV has grown so large that we have broken the network down into sub-channels or subcategories. And one of them happens to be outdoors and off-road. So we're out here not just promoting, but we're looking for content creator partners to help us get, to bring in some new shows. We have 2 meetings already set up from Bronco that Ray Iddings, our content development head, already did. I think he did today. So we're picking up new content creators. We need more for that one segment. We've been doing racing. We've been doing car shows. We've been doing everything forever. It's a huge segment that I think is really, well, we know it's really popular, but I know it'd be really big. And there's a huge aftermarket following. Jeep's just like Mustang 5 liters back in the day. You could buy, every Jeep has something done. So there's, when there's a lot of aftermarket, there comes a lot of possibility to get marketing partnerships and sponsorships for the network and some of our individuals, for there. So that's why we're here. Yes, I do have a Jeep. I bought one specifically for after or less I went to the Jeep. We're going to make it a JK off-road project for the network. We were going to do a little bit this year, but it's been so busy. It's pretty badass. I mean, and they're fun. I've had it for a year now. I drove it probably like 40 times, but every time I took it, it went.
It's like a Wrangler.
It's a Wrangler. It's a 616 Rubicon. So
wow, very nice.
Fun. I mean, is it comfortable? No.
They're expensive.
It wasn't bad. I mean, I got a good deal. I always get good deals.
But I feel like they're just expensive for what you're getting, but it's not meant for creature comforts. So that's
The crazy part about it is that, so we live in Florida, we have 6 acres, and to get to a couple, like a tradition, the restaurant area, it's either we got to go 20 plus miles around, all the way up to 95, up and down and around, or they have a dirt road that goes through that's just a sippy hole mud. There was alligators. I drove in through with alligators coming out of holes. And basically what I've used it is to save 50 miles and eat faster. So
my gosh. Yeah, that's cool.
It's permanently it's muddy, and it's there to go shopping and pick up food. That's my wife.
I love that. I love that. That's awesome. Yeah. So I'm just curious because, you're kind of into this, but your background in motorsports is pretty vast. And I think that I just want you to give us the background on how like you came to where you are today and kind of the things that you've been involved in, which have been really cool.
Okay. Well, you don't have enough time. And
give us the cliff notes. Give us the highlights. I mean,
literally in the last week, you'd probably run out of time for me to explain. I always tell my friends and my wife, my wife says the same thing. Everything we do is basically, it's just another project. There's always a story to everything I do. I can't just do one thing. So, and I've had this unique ability to see something, look at it, and figure out how to make something really difficult and expensive out of it.
Yeah.
I started off in high school. I went to Votech auto body repair and refinishing. And I worked in my last 2 years of high school in a body shop during, at 2:00 on. And then I went out and wanted to hustle. I'm a hustler, so I make money. So I actually drove up and down Long Island, New York is where I lived, up and down Expressway and Northern State, and I detailed cars for basically after school. And then I went to college, and I would do the college at night, and I was detailing cars, and I started working on cars. I actually started working on Mustangs back in 1985, 86. And so we go to 231 Deer Park Avenue. If anybody knows where that is, they'll know. I didn't street race, I swear. But we do that. It's weird. I would go to school, and then I'd go racing, and we'd go racing here and there and go to Englishtown and all that stuff. But I landed up, I made a move. My dad ran the Penny Saver newspaper and we decided to go to Maryland because the whole big business crap. And he said, listen, if you want to come down to Maryland, at that time I was only 19, 20, maybe 19, 20, just turning 20. And he says, you can move in the basement, whatever, and I give you some free advertising for your for your detailing deal. And I'm like, and I was just finishing up some college stuff. But if anybody knows, living in New York when you're 19 years old is not exactly cheap.
Oh,
So
no.
I packed up all my great friends and everything, missed them greatly, and I moved to Maryland. I did one job when I was there for 6 months, and I opened up brick and mortar, and that's where every last detail started. And it was a little corner shop in Glen Burnie, Maryland, and I couldn't even afford the third bay. They put up a blue tarp, and he says, when you have enough money, we'll let you go in there. It was a used car place, and it was a house that was like a garage, 3-car garage. And the greatest day of my life was when we did enough business that I was able to take down the blue tarp.
Oh,
I felt like I had, it's all mine now. I'm like,
so
I did
cool.
it. I won, And from there, it just kept going. We were doing at night. I met a great bunch of group with the Mustang crowd, and I was building Mustangs at night. And basically, the shop would go from detail into a full Mustang. We got motors part and building cars. I had a turbo on my Mustang in 91 before Mustangs were even there. I had Ramon Burrell from Turbo Engineering or Performance, one of those deals, put that together. But it got to a point where I needed more space, and it started flip-flopping where we were doing more and more performance work. And I had just one bay for detail and had 3 mechanics, me. My second shop held 27 cars, and we were working 24/7 all day. We'd race. I was building Mustangs. We were racing in a couple of classes, and then I eventually went to NMRA with a single turbo car, ran that first 3 seasons of that, and just kept going and going. There it is right there on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
That was before turbos were cool. There was no boost controllers. We were using dials from compressors and stuff, and it was Bill Devine.
Oh, yeah. Wild Bill.
People, we were that group in the East Coast running ACO. We were running, Englishtown. We ran all the Mustang Grand National events. It was fun. Spent a lot of time with that car. Eventually it should never have gone as fast. It was originally built for the AMRA, which is the American Mustang Race Association, and it went out of business before I could get the car. So it only held like a smaller tire, but that car went 750s, 183, 84.
Wow.
In 2000.
Wow.
It would do it on a 10-inch tire, 10.5 W tire too. It'd go 118 on the backs and 119 on back tires. It was just a total.
Wow.
It was just
impressive.
No, it was just never. It was scary shit. Excuse my language.
Yeah.
It was an S&W mild steel 12-point cage with ladder bars, and it was just, I didn't know. I never raced anything.
Yeah.
I went from a 10.0990 5-liter Mustang, and that thing went after the first pass, the first iteration of it with only like an 81 turbo, went like 860s. So I went from that big deal. I'm running with tubes in the tires. I had no clue what I was doing. It was truly like seat of the pants, Goodyear tires with the yellow on the side,
Oh, yeah.
I think back in that day, like everybody was kind of just figuring stuff out, especially in that sector of drag racing. You're like the pioneers of, hey, let's try this and see if it works.
Yeah, Excel Gen 7 was the big deal back then. There was nothing else, and that was Job Spetter Jr. and Senior. They were great. They helped out big time, but it was all just everything we handmade. There was no bolt-on parts. I got one of the first sets of the Trick Flow R's. Fox Lake poured them for me. I used that's after I had a sheet metal intake, and I actually went over that when I switched over to the R's. And we had the first set. I had the first, I would say, probably cast aluminum intake manifolds on a 5-liter to go into 7s. I know that. They were all using sheet metal and stuff, but using Igloo. Remember the old Igloo things, with the stack? Holy crap. We spent more money on ice than we did fuel. I remember, obviously Mike Murillo, all those guys were all out racing. I remember being at hotels, and 4 o'clock in the morning, you could hear them sneak out with the big coolers and the ice machine. They're all robbing the ice machines because they had to be first because they're all empty by the time you woke up.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was fun time.
Oh, that's so funny.
The struggle was real.
Oh, we had a ball running that stuff, and then
those were like the good old days, when you look back and things were so much more simple and life was simple and
Yeah, because I think what made it much better was it wasn't like a turnkey deal. You couldn't just call up somebody and get a motor, a transmission, all the electronics, do everything. Air shifters, traction control, all this stuff. I mean, it was all like, I'm shifting the thing, I'm wheeling the thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're playing around with shock adjustments. That's it. We got dials of boost steel. We're trying to figure out how to, make the wastegate open. I use nitrous solenoid to operate the wastegate on my first one, just trying to control it. I mean, stupid stuff that was, but we did it. And I'd say we laid the groundwork for a lot of people, and it was a lot of fun. And what a great group of guys to go racing with, though. I mean, it was all competitive, but man, when it came down to, I'm still friends with, Bill Devine and I, we still talk. I mean, we hang out. I mean, everybody, they're still there and they're still running,
Bill's a great guy. He's a great guy.
Is that the shop right here?
That was the first one. So do you see where the third one in the GTO on the bottom, that right there, the third thing? That wasn't even mine. That was the goal. That was the goal in life everybody had. I got that one. That was it. Yeah, that's my first shop. That was it.
That's amazing. I love that story.
That's awesome.
It was fun. And then we just kept growing and growing. We moved 3 times. By the time I was finished, I had 4 mechanics, a couple of counter guys, me, and then I was on the dyno. I was running the rear wheel dyno pretty much for 3 years straight every day. At that point, I had already started, or let's say I got lucky. I was walking through SEMA and I met Rich Christensen, and he says, "Hey," I had this little TV. We're talking about in a VHS player, and he has a show on it. He's like, "Hey, have you seen the show yet?" I'm like, "No." And I'm always, once again, we're going to go back to Lisa will understand. I'm go right into marketing, because at that time it was Orange County Chopper and all that stuff. And I saw how well they were doing with that. And I said, "Well, what do you got going on there?" He's like, "Would you ever race for car titles?" And I looked at him, I go, "Yeah." And he's like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, I'd race for titles. It is what it is." Right. So he gave me his card, and Pinks had just got picked up. They got picked up from Fox, which is Speed Channel, and they had just from the pilot. And Orlando was the first one. I got a phone call, which I didn't expect to get, in December, and he says, "Hey, this is Rich Christian. I met you at SEMA. Would you still race for titles?" I said, "Okay, yeah." And at that point, I had done so many Mustangs. literally, not just like hundreds, but probably thousands. I was probably 10 years in, probably already. And I'm a hoarder when it comes to parts. I'm gonna get rid of crap. I have 20 Mustangs. So what am I losing? Nothing more than that, right?
Right.
And so I'm like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And he said, "All right, yeah." He goes, "Can you be in Florida and on whatever date?" I'm like, doing the math. I'm like, that's 3.5 weeks, maybe 4 at max. I go, dumbass. I go, "Sure." No, nothing. Called my buddy. He had this chassis with just a cage in it. I said, "Dude, you want to sell the thing?" He's like, "Yeah, just give me a couple $100." And I think I gave him $500 for it. We rolled it in the shop, and we just laid out everything. And in 3 weeks, we were sitting in Orlando, and I was finishing the car in a Walmart parking lot outside of Orlando for the first episodes of Pinks.
Wow.
And it was a tough one. I built a Windsor. I built a 418. I called up Ron or called up the guys over Trick Flow. They sent me a set of high ports, and I did the EFI. I did EFI on it. I could program all the, I could burn chips back then for the Mustangs, but I hit a whole bunch of nitrous on that thing. Oh,
you hit it?
Oh, I had the plate they made for the Trick Flow intake with the tuner.
Yeah.
Down the back, and we ran it. All the solenoids, we ran down the trans tunnel, and I took off the top where the wiper cover is, cut out the deal. I mounted 2 bottles, nitrous, the controller, everything was all in there, and got Cervini's to send me the cover that covered it. You couldn't see in it. So we had 200 and 300 on it, on top of it. But it looks stock. You look at it, and I ground the Trick Flow off the heads, painted the block black, and I called up Dynamax. I said, "What's the quietest 3-inch muffler they had?" And they said these ultra flow, these things for these trucks. And I beat them square, and they were so big, we shoved them up there. And this thing had a solid roller. You could shift it like 7,900, and it was like 12 to 11.5, 12 to 1. It was like this, blah 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 blah. Didn't know a thing. But when you stab that button, that thing went. That's all I can tell you.
So whenever they they set your match race. They didn't tell, like, you didn't know the details about that car, and they didn't know the details about your car.
Oh, and we showed up there. I don't know if you remember the woolly mammoth, right? Woolly mammoth was Charles, which that Vega with the hair on it that raced on things. They said I'm supposed to race him, and I go, wait a second now. That's a full tube chassis car with hair on it, with a big block, 2 stages of nitrous. I go, I got a little Mustang street car. So they found another guy, and thank God it was a Nova with like a stroke small block with this 2 stages on it, and we handed his ass to him.
Nice.
It was good. Yeah, that was a great show.
So you got that car? You got that Nova?
Yeah, that was a whole thing. That was a whole thing with the show, and then they ran. That was the first episodes. We had the first ones, and then they called me again, and said, Brian, we had a cancellation in ATCO, and can you build a car for the show? And I'm like, sure. Wait 2 weeks. I sold the Mustang. Some guy gave me a bunch of money for it. And I'm like, oh no. So I'm like, sure, dumbass. Call my buddy at the body shop. I said, you got any cars? He goes, I saw a Camaro, a 3rd gen, wherever it was, an LT1 anniversary houndstooth interior at the junkyard. Go grab it. We ripped it out one night, gutted it, sent it to him, his body, ordered parts in. I did a 383 stroker injection, had the nitrous straight up on it from there. And I ended up putting a 9-inch and everything in that 2 weeks, and we went to ATCO. Problem was I actually was able to get to the track one night at Capitol because I knew the owner, and test the suspension. I put a sway bar and everything. But the motor, when I had it, because it was an LT1, I didn't know much about it. And I ordered a stroker kit, and they said, oh, it's good for 7,800 horsepower. And it was supposedly like a scat. It was a cat. It was cat. It was a junk. The 3rd time I sprayed it, I was racing the guy. It was the 3rd time I sprayed it. Broke a rod right in half, shot it through. Sitting there on pinks with a hole. I'm trying to figure out why this thing's missing. It didn't really make noise. I looked in the bottom, and I was like, oh, God. So that was a mess. I shoved a rag in it, and I put it up there. I said, well, if he's going to get it, he's going to get it basically in the wall or blown up. I'm not giving it.
Oh, man.
So I pulled it up the line, and I put it up, and I didn't do a burnout. And he says, all right, he thought he was going to, make me just completely time out or blow up. He did 3 burnouts, blew a head gasket. So he's in there blowing head gasket. I'm rod knocking with, I've got nothing going on. And then, of course, Rich Christensen, which I love to death, killed me that day. He goes, well, you broke first, so he wins. I'm like, how's that possible if nobody can race? So it was a whole big thing on the show. But
oh my gosh.
I ended up buying that car back, and it was all over. But I got that car back. Matter of fact, I had it for a few years. But that was fun. So That's how I got into this whole, long story long. That's how I got into the whole Pinks thing and all that stuff and TV side of it. They called me up, and then I ended up going behind the scenes helping with them, because people would just show up for Pinks like literally unprepared. Cars that like they got there and the guy had the valve body had put together on. It would only go in like reverse.
Right.
And back then it was $60,000 an episode to shoot. So my value to them was to make these cars run enough to get an episode. And it seemed like every show I was there fixing things and doing things and helping people, and then kind of solidified my position with them. And then Pinks All Out came up board, and he goes, I was out at Thunder Valley, and I was sitting there just hanging out and helping out. And he goes, Brian, come out here. Rich goes, come on out. I want you on the show. And the Fox executives go, what's he doing out there? We don't have a contract. We don't have like insurance on him or anything,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Goes, I don't care. I want him on the show. And that's it. And from there on, it was just, I was on the show, and then hell, now I own it. Hey, there I am to the right.
Oh, you look
A lot more brown hair and a lot.
you look like that guy from Backstreet Boys. I'm trying to think of his name in that picture.
Joey.
Were all those guys?
I just watched a special on that the other day.
Were all those guys like Nate and Rich, like all cool guys to work with and stuff?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Rich is a serious guy, and it's eyebrows down always and stuff like that, but very passionate about it was. And he came up with some great ideas, and it was a great show. Everybody that was on the show was awesome. We had fun. It came to its end finally when Fox turned Speed Channel into FS1.
Right.
Shelved all of the programming, basically. And we were still, everybody says, oh, it was on downturn. No. Over 1 million viewers every Monday night. I mean, our sponsorship was insane. Millions of dollars from Army, National Guard, from oil companies, from Corona. You know, it was a big thing. But we went into ZMAX Raceway after NHRA on the first 4-wide. NHRA wouldn't race 4-wide because they were crying and bitching and moaning that, oh, it's not fair. We come in there. I meet Brockmeyer on a Tuesday and work with him, and he was putting together to make the timing, the scoreboards work, because there was no such thing. It was win-win. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was there with him where they did 1, 2, 3, 4. If you ever notice now, it'll actually lay it across. I was the first one to work with him on that. And my rental car, and we put 4 rental cars out there, and we ran it to get the 1, 2, 3, 4 done. And of course, I had a little experience. I won all the races. Thank you. I'll take that.
that was at, you said that was at ZMAX?
ZMAX, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we got that ready. In the first real true 4-wide drag race, well, it was won by me, obviously, because I won the one at the thing.
Right.
What was Pink's All Out. And we turned around, and it was 33,000 people in the stands.
Wow.
And the week before,
That's crazy.
20-something, 26, we topped NHRA. That's when you know, when you look around and go, holy crap.
You got something.
What have we done?
Yeah, you got something.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, and that show laid the groundworks for, Street Outlaws, different things like
For
that.
sure.
I mean,
Yep.
all these other shows. I mean, they're basically in the footprint of what we laid out there, and they're continuing to do right now. It's smart. It's smart business to do live events. I mean, Fox always says, "Oh, we're not in the live event business." I'm like, without the live event, you don't have a show. So
Right.
you need to have and if nobody was in the stands, how exciting would these shows be if you didn't have them? And that show was the only show. I mean, Street Outlaws is great. It does what it has to do. But what it did was, simply what my mantra has been since I've been there, is elevate the grassroots racer to a higher level.
Mhm.
Because what I witnessed from being on that show was amazing. We would have autograph lines after the show. Now it'd be 1 o'clock in the morning. We were from 5 in the morning. We were out there crazy 6 o'clock. And we'd sign these autographs that were from the burnout box past there. We'd have boxes of Sharpies and sign these things. But the most impressive thing in the world was, in the beginning of the line, in the water box, was the winner of the show. And he signed as many autographs as we did. So 12 or 10 hours earlier, he was home wrenching on his car. Nobody really knew him.
Right.
12 hours later, he's signing thousands of autographs, and he was a star, and we elevated him up to that level.
I love that.
Right.
It was so amazing. And everybody in the 16 and everybody involved got their time. And that's what, really was, I'm like, I've been on this mission ever since, because it really hurt my soul when it went away. And, I was badgering Fox. I said, I want this. And they wouldn't give us the show. We signed a contract to do shows, but it was so restrictive that we couldn't really do anything. We couldn't get sponsors. We couldn't do international. I did one Pink's All Out week in 2015. It was a hit. I mean, we put 70% increase on the network, which was the outdoor channel, which is a great crossover.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, went back to Fox, and they said, no, you can't have international. They required it. So it kind of went on the shelves, and I went on my way and kept making shows for Rich and doing stuff. And we created All Out Live, another live event to kind of take the place. And that takes us to where we are now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Discovery Channel called me, and they wanted Pink's. And I answered, and I said, I don't own it, but I might be able to get it. And I called, and everybody at Fox was gone that I knew, except for one person. And the new person put me to another new person who knew nothing about Pink's, which was the greatest idea in the world, because they knew nothing of the value and everything. And in 6 weeks, it's all mine. I own
That's
Pink's.
amazing news.
Yeah, Pink's, Pastime, Drag Race High, Pink's All Out is all owned by Bossone Media, myself, and that's how we created. Now, the whole deal with Discovery went away when they got merged with Warner. We were talks. They wanted to buy the whole thing. They wanted me to come on to executive produce it, and the Warner deal came and down.
Yep.
So that's where we created PowerTube TV. So there you go.
Yeah.
Long story long.
So for those viewers that are watching that don't know much about PowerTube TV or kind of have an idea, why don't you give them a rundown on what PowerTube TV is, and I guess, what do you see the near future hold for PowerTube?
As the mantra I went on with trying to keep Pink's All Out and elevate the grassroots racers, doing the same thing here, building a platform. So when Discovery and Motor Trend, kind of crap the boat there, I said to myself, I'm that guy, and we talked about this earlier. I hate when people say I can't do something, and I hate somebody controlling my destiny. So if you don't want our show, Pink's All Out and the rest of them on your network, then I'll just build a network. And that's what I've been doing for the last year and a half, is literally building a network to host these shows like Pink's All Out, Pastime, Drag Race High, and all that stuff like that, to bring the grassroots racers to the elevated level that they deserve. So that's really what this was about when it started. It morphed into something even greater, because in the process, you can't just keep running old shows. You need new content. And in the process, we've been really, really exercising, trying to find, content creators, partners. And we stumbled across really a key element, which is these days, everybody's making content. Everybody's, wants to be a YouTube star or social media and stuff like that. YouTube is just stuffed with so much that unless the algorithm gods shine upon you that day, everybody wants to be an influencer or one of those. Right. The chances are probably 1% out of 60 billion ones.
I would agree.
But there's so much talent out there. There's so many builders and racers and stuff out there that, maybe they're just not getting the views. The mantra move forward, all right, well, let's do the same thing we're going to do with the racers. Let's make a platform, or take the platform and create something that highlights them. Let's scour around and do, really go out there and beat the streets like we're going to do this weekend at Jeep and Bronco, and find content creators that are looking for another avenue to get their content out, to basically expand beyond YouTube. We don't want you to take it out from YouTube. We want you to, we would be it's another arm or extension, which takes your content well beyond. So we're going to take you to Roku, Amazon Fire, Android TV, iOS, Android stuff, our streaming platforms. And as well, we're working on going out to as many as 25 international platforms within the next 4 to 6 months. So you're talking about taking somebody, like you said, that's on YouTube, maybe gets, a decent following, bringing them in-house, working with ratings, development head, to kind of mold and bring these shows up to the level we feel, is good content, longer form from there, and put them on the network and give them that stage to let them go there and really reach the people. As well, it gives them the ability to reach, or let's say, achieve the goals they want through partnerships, market partnerships, or sponsors, because now they could go to like somebody, like say they're doing a build, and it's a paint company or a wheel company or whatever it is from there, and say, hey, if you got two people that are influencers / YouTubers, one guy's on YouTube and he's got decent following, and you got decent following. If they're going after the same money, the same sponsor, who's the sponsor going to go with? The person that's just on YouTube, or the person that say, hey, I'm on YouTube and I got this many followers, I'm Instagram here, but I'm also on PowerTube TV. I'm on internationally on 25 stream platforms. I'm on Roku. You can watch me 24/7. I have my own streaming page on their website. And both marketing people, as well, that is key for CPM. I mean, it brings the overall cost down for acquisition. The sponsor's going to go with them. So we're, once again, helping that person achieve the goal while entertaining our viewers. And it's worked out well. We are now up to 30, including you, Lewis, as well, that have signed on, that are now like actively making content. Bossone Media, my parent company, which I own, is actively shooting multiple shows for the network with partner race events like Southeast Gassers. We're working with the Premier Mega Truck Series. We did Cars and Coffee Expos. We're working a bunch of them. So we're busy producing, we're helping, and we're creating basically a platform for racers and racers and creators. And then 2025, we're going to bring back all those old shows. That's the goal. I mean, but the thing was, I wanted to wait. Everybody's like, oh, well, you could do it now. I'm like, no, I want to wait so that when we push a button, that we have the viewership and the partnerships and everything in place, that we could bring it to the level that we can make those sponsors happy, and we could reach the people we want to do. So the goal is to get to those 30 plus streaming platforms, bring our viewership up to 100,000 plus a week, or 30,000 a day, and utilize the partnerships we made with our content creators, that when they send out, the notice that we're going to go and do these events, that it hits, you got 30 times that, all the social media, that we're going to hit the masses in a big bam, and it could be as successful. I don't want to bring Pink's All Out back in these shows and, go out there and go, oh, There's 1,000 people out here. What a flop.
Right.
I'm not going to invest. I've done events and I know what it takes and I know the investment involved in time that I'm going to put in. So we need that support from sponsors, marketing partners, racers, tracks, and we need the word to be spread about PowerTube TV because we are basically here for you guys.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let him get a divorce and live in a box if it doesn't work. My wife's going to.
I don't believe that. So
I never let anything fail. I will do it till I will beat it to death until it works. That's my job.
You're a highly motivated individual in all of my dealings with you. It's definitely, I can definitely say you're going to make it work. I believe in you. And I've been watching, me and you keep in touch about things, that are the comings and goings of the industry. And a lot has transpired over the last year, I would say, with Motorsports TV, if you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
I think that there's going to be a big need for this. I think people are going to be hungry for this. One question I had just from a racer's perspective, do you accept user generated content on your channels? Like, is it something that you want to send a crew out, or they have to have some sort of production crew or something like that to create content, or are they uploading their own content? Like, how does that work?
So we've created a really pretty in-depth partnership program. 2 different phases. One is called the Content Creator Development Program, where we work directly with, let's say, somebody that wants to take it to the next level. We'll go out there, we'll help them shoot, we'll do all that stuff from there. Second part is a content partnership like we're doing with Lewis, where basically we'll work with them as well, but they're shooting the content themselves.
Okay.
It will filter through Ray and the development department, and they'll say, you need to up-res this, you need to do that, basically quality control from there. And then
Gotcha.
the third option is basically having somebody like a business. Let's say a marketing partner wants to get involved, but they don't know how to do it. The ability for us, what the beauty of this is, unlike anybody else, owning a production company, we could take an idea from concept, we could actually produce it, post-produce it, and guarantee airtime. There's nobody that could do that right now that I know of right now. So we could take a concept from, let's say, if Holly has an idea for a show, right? We could take that concept, work with their marketing team to create a really good integrated marketing, piece that's enjoyable, watchable, and then somebody will watch well over 20, 30 minutes and produce it and do everything in-house. So we have those partnerships. We could also do that with, let's say, a race venue like we're doing with Southeast Gassers. They have no idea how to shoot all the stuff and everything. We gave them a budget. They said, cool, we're working with them. We send our guys out there. Ray just got back this weekend from, I think, Mooresville. He shot the 4th or 5th, 6th episode from there. You can watch their shows on PowerTube TV. Watch PowerTubeTV.com. You go there and we could do events. We could take any event that you have. We have the ability, because we've done so much, we could shoot the whole thing live stream it, or we could live stream to tape, or live stream and tape and create a live stream available out there, or we could take the live stream, cut it down, and make multiple episodes from there. That we have everything covered. We actually have a partnership portal that we have on our website for our partners that have a drop down. We have everything available from, releases, for view, everything, graphics, different things like that. All the forms to help our people out. We do a couple times a month. We do emails to support. Well, you got it, Lewis. To support different ideas. Our job is always to make sure that our content partners are successful, because if they're successful and continue to make content, we have more content to put on the web, on the network, and continue on to entertain our viewers. So that's what we did in the first year. We created the monster. We created the machine. We honed it out. We tried to break it. And since June, our first year, we've now turned, and that's why I'm out here in Nashville, and that's what we're doing. We are now spreading the gospel of PowerTube TV. What we do, it's free, 100%, no subscriptions. You could download it anywhere. We're here to support the racers. We're here to support the content creators. We're going to do live events. It's big,
Yeah.
People don't understand how big this is. They have no idea on the back end what it takes to do, but it's going to, if we get to support, this could be as big as Speed Channel was, if not bigger, because of the ability of basically the internet these days, and as many streaming platforms it is, could reach, way more. in a
Yeah, it's a
fast.
totally different ball game than it
Oh
was
yeah,
back then. Yeah, for sure.
there's no 3 month wait to put a show on. These,
Right.
we could do something live and literally put it out there tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if anybody out there wants to promote your company and on PowerTube TV, hit me up or hit Brian up directly. We can figure something out. Get in early.
And Lewis knows there is what we just spoke about. It's almost impossible to name how many opportunities,
Right.
integration, commercial, click through, live event, it doesn't stop. And the beauty is we own it all, we control it all. So, when we say it's going to go in, it's going to go on, it happens. There's no billion-dollar corporation, or this. And it's quite reasonable. If anybody wants to get on the ground floor, like you said, this is the time to get on. We want to grow with companies. We don't want to just, we're not going to throw it, we need $1 million. We want to grow. If you got a small budget, we'll start with you. We'll show you proof of concept and you grow with us and we'll work with you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's what, we're here to grow. I mean, small companies,
Right.
we know you need the eyeballs. We can provide it,
Right. Well, it shows that you're willing to work with small companies and things like that because you're working with grassroots racers. You're not working. I mean, not that you wouldn't work with, pro drivers, pro racers, you would, but you're really, your core is grassroots.
Yep.
Yeah.
And think about this real quick. What Pink's All Out did for the grassroots racer, why it was so successful is because the money that was spent between sponsors. And the reason the money was spent by sponsors was because the people that raced and showed up were the actual people that used the products.
Yeah.
John Force hasn't paid for a product in probably 30 years.
Yeah.
But if you give up 1 quart of oil to one of our racers, they will sing it to the world.
Right.
Yeah.
That's,
you're 100% right.
That's really what it comes down to. Sponsors, if you literally support big racers, that's great. But these are the people, these guys in these garages, literally right here. I was here for one day. I visited 3 different houses. It's all countryside. And it was 12 cars, race cars and different stuff all around here. Yep. I mean, these guys all had your products sitting in the back, oil. I mean, look at that. I mean, they're all over the place. John Force and all F1 and all those guys getting millions and millions of dollars. I mean, yes, great. But the grassroots racers need the money. We need to support, to support the grassroots. I don't want to come back and do Pink's All Out for $10,000. I want to give away $100,000.
Right.
Wes Buck's doing a great job. Give it to all those big racers. It's awesome. I support them 100%.
Yeah.
You put up $100,000 worth of prizes for grassroots racers. There you go. You know what I mean? Think about how they're
absolutely
sponsors.
I like that.
So the show, Napa was a big sponsor. They would just show up in the show. They didn't work for Napa with Napa hats and all this stuff on it. They just thank you. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah.
Getting that.
So with shows like Pastime, Pink's All Out, obviously a lot of racers that are watching this, those were their favorite shows back in the day. I know I love Pastime myself. When as far as the reboot, are you guys going to leave it the same? Have you talked about different things?
That's a difficult decision. Still really good friends with Rich Christian, Brett Wagner, all them. Decision's basically coming down to how can we appeal to a new audience? Yes, we could go back and bring everybody back, but there's a whole new generation of racers out there and times have changed. So the talk has been to reboot with new cast of characters, things like that. We haven't locked anything in yet, but I will tell you it will be different. There will be character changes and stuff like that. I don't want to let the bag out. We've had some really good discussions with some really cool people. And we're probably going to open up some casting. I'm not going to lie. So if somebody's interested, the idea would be, number one, think about this. I mean, there will never be a replacement for Rich Christensen and Brett Wagner and Ken and all.
It's very nostalgic,
Yeah.
I mean, we could come back today and everybody from 2000 or whatever, 2008 and 9 would be happy. But how do we get that 18 to 25-year-old?
Right.
We're older. I mean, let's get them. I mean, look, I'm great.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
And honestly, I mean, you can connect so closely with influencers that have millions of followers so easily. You can connect with them so easily that people are already really popular right now in today's car scene. you know, or in motorsports, or not even just, you know, influencer status in general, you know, that has a huge audience. So things have definitely changed. Brad, my husband, commented, he said, would you ever be afraid of creators flaking out or not being reliable? I'm sure contracts would be used, but what concerns do you have?
We have a lot of contracts out. Everybody gets a contract. Reality is we're not Discovery. We're not going to take you to court. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's there. Reality is most of our contracts are there more legality wise to make sure you have the legal right to use who's on your show and what you're doing, and to make sure that if somebody comes full circle that you've covered us. We do something basically where we have 4 to 5 shows in the bag before we even start, so that we know at least we have something there. Because we've been down the road. When we first started, we've got 2 or 3 shows that basically produced one show, and then realized this isn't for amateurs. This isn't for it. It takes, you know, it takes some commitment and some time. And he backed out after one. Great guy. I don't against them, but you know, sometimes you have to do realization. But it takes time and it takes money. We try to make it as easy as possible, but we're not in the business to sue people because you didn't. What am I going to do? Oh, you didn't give me a show. I'm going to sue you for $7 million. No. What I want to make sure though is in our contracts, basically, and of course they're all lawyer crap.
Yeah.
You know, they're about 3,000 pages long, which condensed down from 12,000. It's true. I mean, we asked them so many times to make it easier because our people just don't want to do it. But it's really there just to protect us from going out using our logos on stupid things and protecting us from, copyright, trademark infractions and stuff like that.
Right.
And that's why we do that partner portal, so that people can click down and get the things they need to protect themselves and us. Talent releases, put signs at the event gates to, basically say you're in a facility that's filming. If you don't want to, please make sure you check out or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
He said if you need any custom trophies, he knows a guy.
I've seen his trophies. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They are.
Awesome.
We got you covered.
So, the other day, you sent something out, and obviously I saw the logo and everything of PowerFest. Can you explain what that is, what PowerFest? Because I'm excited for that. You know what I mean? Explain what is PowerFest and what's the goal?
Once again, supporting the shows and the content creators and the racers. So we'll do Pinks All Out, and we'll do Pastime on its own, and we'll have their shows, and we'll do probably Drag Race High if we get a good sponsor and a good school to work with again. But I wanted to start, or basically build something out that was almost like the Duck X stuff, where it's once or twice a year or 3 times that we create a festival of speed, we'll call it PowerFest. We haven't figured if that's going to be the final name. That basically we give a little bit of everything that we've got on the network dabbling into, and bring it out there in a live event that we could basically bring viewers and race fans out. So we'll do a Pinks All Out style event. We're going to integrate a hybrid version of Pastime because there's 2 cars going on the track. Ray and I discussed how to do that, things like that. We're partnered with, one of our shows is a drift. We've got the Premier Mega Truck Series. We got the Southeast Gassers, and we've got a couple other ones up our sleeve that we're working with right now. So what we do is basically find venues that have the ability to have these going on during this 2 to 3 day festival. We're not going to open it up to 6,000 racers because they won't be enough room most there. So it'll be basically an invite, or we'll do a limited, invite or let's say racer stuff. So before it was 500 racers for Pinks All Out. We had 5,000 people trying to get it. It's going to be more like 200 if you're lucky. And we might even work to a point where we do qualifiers at surrounding tracks that we give out that extra 100 racer entries where they could have events, so they could be involved as well. And, not be, you chose me, maybe smaller tracks, 8th or something that's just not going to work. And they could bring teams in like they do in NHRA for divisionals, and the 10 winners or the top 10 winners can come out and be part of the whole PowerFest, and their group will put them in there in the pit area together. So we have that, that fighting back and forth kind of thing. Just a whole bunch of fun. The idea is to, give away a bunch of money, prizes, fun. Well, also the content creators, like the build shows and stuff like that. Any of those guys, we want them to come out, have have their tents and people can walk around, watch video, talk to them, how, introduce their companies, their shows, and kind of get to meet them face on face. So it's basically this big, carny festival deal. It's going to be kid friendly, want kids stuff, your dragsters involved, things like that. Just one big fun. No cussing, no, none of this, it's all fine and dandy to do what you want to do. You can have your drama. This is a no drama fest. As a matter of fact, it's funny, when I had the rules on All Out Live, when I did it, the last one was, this is a no drama, no fighting event. If you feel like you want to fight, stay home. If you do, you will go home, and that's it. None of that crap. We don't need it, don't want it. It's going to be a great event. So once again, we want racers. We need to spread the word, but we also need tracks that feel like they want to get involved. I want a track that's excited about it. I don't want to be just sunk in the middle of something and become like, oh, it's just another Saturday event. I want them to feel like they are partners in this, which they shall be, and that this is something we're going to do for the next 10 years, 20 years.
Right.
We're going to grow it to it's so monstrous that we're going to be busting at the seams. And we need race venues, and we need sponsors. We need, everybody to get involved. I'll do it. I've done 200 plus live events. I could run an event from contract to final, everything, with integration of television. So you're not dealing with some first timer here. I mean, I know how to do it. Ask my wife. I drive her nuts. Right, Robin? She does all the wristbands.
Hi, Robin.
Robin does all the wristbands and basically takes care of the money and all that crazy stuff, and spends hundreds of hours with me at these events. And I got this.
I know what it's like. I still have some PTSD in my brain from some of my events.
Yeah, we're going to need people like you at these events to really step up, because we're going to need people that it's going to be big. It can't be, it's crazy. Oh, there's Robin right there. Robin Johnson, I love you, honey, and thank you for my nutty world I brought you into.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things drag racing's missing, or a lot of events, is that festival feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, where you integrate fun stuff, like you know what? I just say it like it is, like all that downtime with all the filming and all that stuff. That is torture. That's torture for kids. That's torture for, you got to think these are a lot of those people that I was dealing with for NPK. They were like TV fans. They're not drag racers. They don't understand oil downs, which those things happen, right? Yeah. But like when you have oil downs and then you've got downtime because you're filming between rounds and you're interviewing all the drivers, and it's just, you've got 45 minutes between classes. That's a big problem. These kids need something to do. It's hot. Get some bouncy houses, get some snow cone stands, get a live band, like really just bring it all in there.
We did that at Pigs All Out in 2016. It was on 4th of July weekend. Rich wanted to do that, which is the death nail for live events. We had 4 days. We had 5 classes. I brought in motorcycles, junior dragsters to do arm drop in like a Pigs All Out deal. And we brought in bounce houses. We had kids stuff. I did a band on Thursday night. I did fireworks, $7,000 worth of fireworks on Friday night. And
that's amazing.
We had rain for 3 days. It was, poor Robin. She still has tears about that. We still kept our end of the bargain. We did everything we were going to do, and we had a great time. We had 506 racers stay. They partied in the pits like nobody's business. It was fun.
Oh man, that's good times.
Let me tell you, this is one thing that I could give, and track owners, you could take it for a grain of salt. I've been in the entertainment business now for almost 18 years, and I've been to thousands of tracks. You need to own an entertainment facility. It is not a racetrack. The people that pay the bills are the spectators. The racers will come for the money, for the payouts. They need a place to race. They will come. And that's what we do. We create entertainment. We create events that are fun. The greatest promoter, other than Royce Miller, is probably the greatest out there, was Pat Jeffrey on from No Problems Raceway. When I did multiple events there. Sat there with Pat, drinking a couple beers after it, and he looked around. And he goes, "Brian," he goes, "You know why we're so successful?" I go, "Why, Pat?" He goes, "Because we throw a big party and have a little bit of drag racing going on."
Exactly. I was trying to tell that to Street Outlaws, like, we need to do more fun stuff. Like, it's dead. Like, we got to get the fun. But yeah, you're on the right track. I'm so excited to see what you do with all of this. This is going to be amazing. I'm all in. You let me know how you need if you need help.
I'm gonna close the garage door because look, it's right here. Hang tight.
Yeah, go ahead. That's awesome. I'm super excited for this. Like all of this.
It is going to be very, very cool. I think
Maybe,
it's just what the industry needs.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Maybe,
if we could just get this. It's all about the sponsors and marketing partners. If we could get them behind it, I'm giving back. We're not out here to, to make millions of dollars. We want to give this back to the racers. I want to put $100,000 back to them.
Yeah. Maybe HP brands can
for his stuff.
HP race brands.
Yeah.
Right. All that stuff. We're out there to support them, and it's going to be fun because I'll make sure it's fun, because if it's not fun, I don't want to do it. Right, Robin? You don't want to do it, right? It's not fun.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's going to be a good time. There's a lot of logistics involved. There's a lot of planning involved, and we're spread thin right now with our crew. So, get more money coming in the door through marketing partners. We'll hire more people. We'll continue to grow this PowerTube TV, and in a few years, you're going to look back and go, "Holy crap!"
You got the right guy for it. He's got a really good program to help you guys out and get you some sponsors and get some money rolling in there.
We'll we'll be definitely closing some. I don't know.
I've got your
deals soon.
Got your own. We have a 10 by, like you said, a 10 by 30. We're maybe going to a 10 by 40 at Pier I. We have a nice setup just for you to have your meetings.
Awesome.
That's really good.
What about SEMA? You guys doing SEMA too?
I'm at SEMA, but I'm going to get more involved with the SEMA, some events at SEMA that we're going to work with Tora and the Hot Rod Alliance over there. We're getting involved. I'm getting more and more involved directly with SEMA. That's a matter of fact, tomorrow night I'm going to the Tora, which is the Truck and Off-Road Alliance. They actually at Gatlinburg. It's amazing. They're having a mixer meeting. So I'm going to get deep. As long as I'm going to get deeper into it, get SEMA involved. I feel like you said, you got to get all the pieces and parts and everybody involved. If SEMA gets behind it, if sponsors get behind it, if the racers get behind it, how can it not work? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
And speaking of sponsors, we have a partnership, 660 Marketing and PowerTube TV. But also it extends to your content creators, right? Yes. So why don't you talk about that benefit if a content creator is thinking about coming on board, what benefits they would get in terms of marketing help and things like that.
Yep. Well, you'd be better to tell them about how it's going to work, but I'm going to tell you that thank you for allowing that, because that was something you extended specifically right to our creators. And I think I hooked you up with a couple today. Yeah. There's actually a couple more. I just wanted to get everything. I know you're out of town, everything. I just wanted to get everything set from there. So obviously Lewis is going to be working directly, and he is the face of our marketing team. I own a marketing company, and I own a marketing and production and media. I don't have time. My marketing company right now is focused on one thing: PowerTube TV, bringing it and let everybody know about it. Lewis' job is to take PowerTube TV and let everybody know that there is opportunities available. In the process of that, we had a discussion. I'm like, we have a lot of opportunity, but there's some shows that we don't personally own, like Beyond Pinks All Out and all this stuff, that when we approach a marketing partner or, that say, well, there's not shows that align. Well, Lewis can go, not a problem. These 40 shows that are airing, 30 or so that's being, developed and made right now. These are partners that here's their marketing deck. Well, you'll make a marketing deck for them. Yep. Here's the options. So you could get involved with PowerTube TV, let's say in commercials, integration. You could be the title, PowerTube TV brought by then. But then you say, all right, well, I'm a tire person. I need shows that consume, use, and tires. Fine. We've got drag racing, Sega, Southeast Gassers. We got drifting, or we've got mega trucks who blow up big tires all the time and crazy stuff. Right. So here's your connection. Here's their options they have available. Yep. So any content creator could jump on board. They just simply need to have, basically work with Lewis, have a marketing deck put together by him. So when his team is out there fishing or working, yep, he can just pull it real quick and say, here's the options right here. So that needs to be done. So they need to have, that's the only requirement that Lewis has been asked for, is that you do that. So when he's out there working for us, you are now another option. So if there's a content creator that feels like they're on the fence about coming on board, or maybe there's some information they wanted, we are out here, and Lewis and I are out here to help you. Yep. gain sponsorship money and marketing dollars to help you create and get your content on PowerTube TV.
I couldn't put it better myself.
Sounds like a match made in heaven.
Yeah. No.
I needed Lewis.
Yeah.
We had a conversation with other companies, and I just felt like working with him was very comfortable, and he's got the chops and he knows what he's doing. He's directly. There's a lot of companies out there that are marketing companies, but you have to know this business.
Yeah.
You have to have the connections, and you have to be able to talk the talk and walk the walk.
Right.
Marketing companies out there, a lot of them they just cold call and they're off. They don't have that interconnection.
Right.
It's a passion. It's a passion. It's a motorsports passion. Either you have it or you don't. Like it's just like me doing marketing for something that I absolutely love, which is high performance parts. Obviously, like that's like my thing, especially turbos, right? It's like I couldn't do marketing for like some dentist office or something. You know what I mean? I got no drive for that.
So
how easy is it to talk about? It's like when you were standing up in school and you had to talk, do your speech, and then somebody asked you about a car and you could ramble on like this. You're not interested. It's not something you want to do.
Right. Exactly.
I'm not going to talk about fracking. I don't give a crap about it. You ask me about anything that motorsports, cars, building cars, doing this, production, racing, I can answer it. And I'm fluent in it. And that's what Lewis is, because I know when he talks it, he's breaking parts, he's building cars, he's doing events, he's traveling, he knows every aspect of it. So between him and I, and both our groups together, it's going to be dangerous.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm going to put my marketing and sales hat on right now.
Do it.
Can we get a meeting between the three of us at PRI?
Oh, heck yeah, I'm in.
Let's talk about being on HP Race Brands, being on PowerTube TV.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
100%.
Let's do it.
Locked and loaded.
They just set up a van over here, okay? Talk my people.
Got it. I'll talk to your people.
No, but I think it'll be a good conversation, and I think since we all know each other, it'll be easy, and we can figure something out what works for everybody.
And I know Harry.
Yeah.
I got a story for Harry that people don't even know. Harry was in a 10x10 tent at one of the races for NMRA, I think it was, and I was running a Turbonetics because it was the only thing back then.
Yeah.
And he had just started, his company, Precision, and just started the company. And he's standing there. I swear to God, the tape was this: one tent and one turbo singing from him. I go up and do the burnout with the Pro 50 car, and the volute shot right off the end. Ate the impeller, dropped it right there. First pass. So I'm like, I just traveled. I think it was like 18 hours. I'm like, what do I do now? And I went over to him. I said, what is this? And it was crazy because the Turbonetics, the hot and cold side was very equal in size. He's got this precision with the hot side that is massive. Mm-hmm. And I said, he's like, you want to try it? He goes, if you don't like it, you could send it back or give it back. So I swear to God, this is how much money I spend at the time when it comes, Lewis, you do anything to race.
Yep.
Like, I'm going racing. Gave him the card, bought the turbo right there, went back, looked at the front of the car, mocked it up, took a Sawzall out, cut the nose of the car, everything out to fit this damn thing in there. It took me like 2 hours to fit it in there. Of course, the whole dynamics of his turbo were completely different than that. Car wouldn't stall. I didn't have the ability because Spetter was doing the tuning. He wasn't there. And I went up there and I made one whole pass. And I actually Spetter's like, oh, you got to use the, because everybody's loyal to their brands.
Yeah.
And Harry actually took the turbo back and gave him money back.
Oh, wow.
I wish, honestly, I would have
great guy.
That work because, Precision is such a better company in the long run. Turbonetics kind of dropped off, but I mean, I did well. I can't say anything about Turbonetics. They did good for me. I won sevens. I mean,
Turbonetics still exists. I mean, they're still, Precision owns Turbonetics now.
Oh, they really?
Yeah.
Well, hell, I support them all. But yeah, Harry was so kick-ass cool that he is. I wanted to get it out there and try it. And I tried it for him. And it was a great turbo, but just wouldn't work with 342 cubic. That's all I had was 342. And it was just, the design of it was completely different. I would have to go back to a dyno and stuff, but yeah, it was fun. Harry's a great guy.
He is. He's a great guy to work for. I worked for Harry back in 2010 with Precision. I mean, that's how far back we go. So I'm super proud to work for HPT. He's got all kinds of amazing innovations happening with these turbos that are head and shoulders above other companies. Not to down anyone, but as far as spool time and power, we're faster and we make more power. And I mean, across the board.
Lighter.
And it's lighter. I don't like the lighter thing is cool, but like, you know, you don't want, that's not really our mantra. Our mantra is it spools faster and it makes more power. Like, you know, but they are lighter. So all ball bearing, 2-year warranty, 4 years if you buy our oil. Like it's
Wow.
unheard of. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So,
I'm
yeah,
a turbo guy,
is.
so
I'm a turbo girl
Yeah,
for life.
I'm a turbo guy as well. So before we sign off, I was supposed to ask you about your unhealthy love for pizza.
is that Ray? I am.
Do we have a pizza fetish?
I'm on a group called Pizzaholics on Facebook. My favorite food in the world. I'm coming from New York. I'm a pizza guy. My wife and I travel 45 minutes to find New York style pizza in Florida, and I love pizza, and I can eat pizza every day. If somebody sees me at track, bring me pizza. My wife knows it. Of course, I have to control my consumption now of pizza and stuff like that. I had triple bypass heart surgery 2 years ago.
No way. Oh.
Yeah. It's not from pizza though. It was everything else. I swear to God, don't ever blame it on pizza.
So what's your most favorite pizza? If you can make it your way, what's the top?
Good plain New York pizza is fine, but pepperoni on top works for me.
Oh, okay.
And ask Ray. He likes them with the cup pizza with the cup up like this.
Yeah.
That's it. Bring me some pepperoni pizza, and I'll die happy.
Okay. Is there anything you don't eat on pizza?
Oh, anchovies and all that crap.
I pretty much eat anything.
I'm a standard meat lovers kind of pepperoni guy, onion stuff like that.
I had a fig. They called it the fig and the pig pizza. It was a fig and ham, like prosciutto with honey.
Now you're talking.
With honey, with like a cream base, like an Asiago cream underneath. It was so good. Brick oven pizza. I just had that. I live in Louisiana. I'm not a pizza aficionado.
It's not pizza anymore.
Yes, it was. It was delicious, and I want some right now. I'm literally hungry right now talking about pizza. We should have some pizza at PRI. Let's find some good pizza.
Yeah.
Actually, Ray Hiddings knows a great place because he lived in Indy, and he keeps saying that we need to either bring it into the show or make our way out. Ray's probably going to chime in somewhere, but yeah, he knows.
Okay. Let's find out where Ray said we need to have pizza.
He knows. He lived in Indy. He knows the spot. And
yeah.
He's a pizza guy too. Don't let him.
I love that.
Troy
that.
Baum said, from RaceWire said, you need to try my boy's breakfast pizza with egg and meats. Let us know where that is.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds really good. But man, this was a jam-packed show. Super exciting stuff.
Very great.
You know, Brian, before we sign off, do you want to plug anybody or any companies or anything like that?
The big push is PowerTube TV. Go to watchpowertubetv.com, watchpttv.com, or you could you could check out everything in one shop. Go to pttvlinks.com. Any of those will take you there. Please support us. Download the iOS, Android apps. Go to Roku, sign up. Everything's free. Go to Fire TV if you got that. Support us on YouTube. Support us on social media. Spread the word. Support Lewis, Elise, everybody involved. Support all of our content creators. Go to our social media site. Click on links. Go support all of our content creators and race programs that we're supporting, because if you support them, they're helping you guys out. They want to entertain you. Buy their merchandise. Go to our site. You could go to each one of the creators, slide down, buy a Crow branded merch. It goes directly to them to help support them in their making content. All we want to do is make great content and support the grassroots racers and creators out there and entertain everybody. So yeah, and thank you. I really appreciate it. Sorry about the long-winded stuff.
It's good.
No, man, that's good. That's good stuff. I think the more that people know, and get educated on what you're doing and the movement that you're trying to do, you know what I mean? I think it's all for the better.
Yep, PowerTube TV. It's basically by racers and for racers, and we are the real deal. We're not some California crap that's putting something together that destroys every show they get to. Sorry. Listen, least knows that one. Sorry, I'm going to throw that out there.
I was actually waiting. I was like, man, we made it through the whole show without it. Oh man, that's good stuff.
When you started saying it, I was like, I think I know what he's saying, and then she started laughing, and I'm like,
so many great shows have gone by the wayside, but
it has. But you know what? It's people are hungry for more, and you're doing this, and I know you're putting in so much time and effort. People aren't even really seeing it yet, but you're doing it at the perfect time. This is like a huge, huge deal, and I'm like so excited and so proud. So
I feel like, as not saying any particular name of a network, seems to be on the downward spiral. As Speed Channel went away, it rose from the ashes. I have a feeling that PowerTube will be the replacement, and that's
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So guys, contact us. If you want to support, hit us up. Get in on this on the ground floor. That's all I have to say.
It will be big.
Yes. So
watch PowerTubeTV.com.
Awesome.
Love it. Thanks, Brian. It was great.
Thanks, guys. It was so much fun with you guys. I look forward to working with everybody in the future too as well. Thanks.
Yes.
Appreciate this.
All right. See you guys.
Take care.
Like this show? Want more? Then head to watchpttv.com, the new 100% free PowerTube TV streaming network. Home of the best classic and new motorsports racing and build shows on the web.